clouds deep in my heart. They turn to rain.
Welcome to the Voice of Autism Resource Hub. Today, we NBAI, AI for Autism, Job for Autism, Dr. Thinh Duong as CTO, and Mr. Lam Duong Lay as Executive Manager are excited to introduce a personalized digital twin that is a virtual replica of an autistic student, leveraging AI, data analytics, and real-time monitoring to mirror their behaviors, learning needs, sensory preferences, and progress. This enables tailored support in integrated elementary classrooms, where autistic students learn alongside neurotypical peers, and interventions.
And I cling to hope, though it's faint, I know. Tomorrow's dawn will bring the light, a brighter sun to end the night. Oh, my child, my heart's own song. I'll walk with you where you belong. Through every shadow, every fear, my love will always hold you near. Dawn will bring the light.
Today, we're talking about a technology that is frankly groundbreaking. It's something that could completely change how we approach personalized education and support for autistic students. We're talking about building a virtual copy of a person to better understand their unique world.
Okay, so let's get right into it. What in the world is a personalized digital twin, or a PDT? Well, imagine a virtual replica of a student that's always learning and updating. This isn't just some static file with their grades. No. This is a dynamic model powered by AI that uses real-time data to mirror, well, everything. We're talking their learning patterns, their unique sensory needs, even their social behaviors. The whole idea is to create a tool that can actually predict challenges before they happen and help us fine-tune support like never before.
And really, that brings us to the core question driving all of this. It's a simple question, but it's incredibly powerful. What if we could build a virtual mirror that doesn't just reflect a student's world, but helps us predict it? That's a huge idea with massive implications. So how do you even begin to build something like that? This virtual mirror, how is it actually made? Well, let's break down the process of building this digital self. It's a fascinating mix of data science, deep educational knowledge, and psychological insight.
Now, the actual research gets super complex, but we can boil it all down to 4 main stages. First, you have to do some really careful planning and gather just tons and tons of data. Then, you use all that data to build the virtual model itself. After that, it's time for the real test. You apply it in the real world, in classrooms and therapy sessions. And the final step is a loop, really. It's all about constantly refining the model, and this is so important, safeguarding the student's data and privacy every step of the way.
And what's really wild is the sheer range of data that feeds this thing. We're not just talking about grades and test scores. The twin pulls from academic records, sure, but also from behavioral observations, things like social interactions. It even uses physiological data, like heart rate and movement from wearables. You've got notes from parents and teachers, and crucially, it integrates very specific data, like sensory profiles and communication styles. It's all about creating a complete, holistic picture.
Okay, so that's the theory. But how does a bunch of code actually make a difference in a real classroom? How does a digital twin actually change things for a student on a Tuesday afternoon? Well, some really interesting early pilot studies are giving us our first look.
This quote from a pilot study this year called SecuTwin really says it all. The technology was able to look at the data coming in and actually predict the risk of a meltdown. This allowed teachers and aides to step in before a crisis happened.
I mean, that is a total game changer. It's a massive shift from being reactive to being proactive.
And the result of that proactive support? A 40% reduction in stressful incidents. Just let that sink in. 40%. That is a massive number.
And here's the human story behind that statistic. For one 9-year-old boy, his twin analyzed all his data and suggested some really specific changes to his environment. Things like offering a sensory break at just the right moment. And over just 3 months, that simple, data-driven insight led to that 40% drop. It helped create a calmer, better learning environment for him. And it doesn't stop there. Here's another powerful number, this time from a pilot that was focused on mental health, specifically social anxiety, a 35% drop.
This result came from the case of a 12-year-old girl. Her digital twin was able to identify specific social situations that were triggering her anxiety. So, by forecasting those triggers, her therapists could use targeted VR therapy to let her practice navigating those exact situations in a safe space. This led to a 35% reduction in her own reported anxiety. That's the power of precise, personalized care.
So when you zoom out and look across these early studies, the impact is just undeniable. A 40% cut in stressful moments, a 60% drop in student frustration by pinpointing exactly where they were getting stuck. And maybe one of the most important things for therapists and teachers, a 45% reduction in the trial and error it takes to find the right intervention. That saves so much time, money, and emotional energy for everyone.
But, and this is a big but, with this incredible potential comes an immense amount of responsibility. We have to balance all this promise with a really clear-eye look at the challenges and the ethical questions. The precautions we take are every bit as important as the possibilities. This really lays it all out. On one side, the potential is just enormous, right? Proactive support, data-driven education plans, even cost savings for families. But on the other side, the pitfalls are just as serious. Remember, these are small studies, and they often lack diversity. You've got massive questions about data privacy and consent, and of course, there's a very real risk of relying too much on the tech and losing that essential human element. So, to move forward with this responsibly, these challenges have to be met head-on. Data security has to be ironclad. You have to actively fight against algorithmic bias by using diverse data. And just think about the logistics of scaling this from a few students to an entire school district. That's a huge hurdle. But maybe the biggest challenge of all is earning trust from parents, from teachers, and from the students themselves. This has to be a tool for empowerment, never ever for labeling.
It's important to remember this journey is still in its very early stages. Just last year, we were seeing the first simulations that proved the concept could even work. Now, in 2024, we're seeing these small pilots show a real impact. The absolutely critical next step, starting in 2025, is to run much larger and more diverse trials. The dream, down the road, is to see this integrated into schools, but, and I can't stress this enough, always with robust human oversight. Which brings us to one final, really deep question. For all its power, for all its data, can a digital twin, which is really just a collection of algorithms, ever truly capture that spark? You know, what makes us human? That's the question we absolutely have to keep asking as this incredible technology continues to evolve.
How can I reach you, stand by your side? I'm lost, searching through the maze, through crowded streets and strangers' gaze. You hold the last rays of the afternoon's glow, and I cling to